A snowy evening, a quiet sidewalk, a girl screaming, a man dragging her by the arm while people pretend not to see. But one man didn't just see, he acted. When a single dad walking home from work saw a young girl being dragged into a van, he didn't wait for questions. He threw the first punch that changed 3 lives forever. What happens next will make you believe in standing up, even when the world stays silent. If you believe kindness still exists, hit like and subscribe to Kindness Stories, because every view helps us share the light. The cold wind bit through Tyler's worn jacket as he stepped off the late-night bus. His daughter Ava was already asleep by the time he left his shift at the diner, and the only thing on his mind was getting home, checking on her, and heating up the leftover macaroni she'd made for dinner. Being a single dad wasn't easy. Since his wife passed away 2 years ago, it felt like every breath was a test of patience, of love, of strength. But Ava, his 12-year-old daughter, made it worth it. Her laughter was his morning coffee. Her hugs, the only reward he ever needed. He turned the corner toward his neighborhood, the dimly lit street muffled under falling snow. That's when he heard it, a muffled scream. It wasn't loud, but it was sharp, desperate. His eyes darted toward a dark alleyway between an abandoned shop and a shuttered laundromat. That's when he saw her. A girl couldn't have been older than 16, was being dragged by a man. Her feet slipped on the snow as she kicked, trying to resist. The man, bigger, stronger, angry, had one hand wrapped around her wrist and the other pressed over her mouth. Tyler didn't think. He didn't ask. He ran. Like a bullet, his feet pounded toward them. "Let her go!" The man barely turned before Tyler's fist crashed into his jaw with a sickening crack. The attacker stumbled, slipped, and hit the icy ground. The girl collapsed too, crying, scrambling back. "What the hell?" The man groaned, reaching for his coat pocket. But Tyler didn't give him a second chance. He tackled him again, knee pressing into the man's chest. "Who are you? What are you doing to her?" The man tried to push him off, shouting something incoherent. Tyler's eyes flared, his breath clouding the cold air. "You think no one was going to do something? Not today, man. Not today." Sirens. Someone had called 911. Within minutes, flashing blue lights filled the street. Officers separated them. The girl was shivering, crying, hugging her knees. The man was restrained, cursing. Tyler stood between them, hands in the air, shaking. She was screaming. He was dragging her. I did what anyone would do. The girl looked up at the officer, whispering her story between sobs. "He said he'd give me a ride home, but he drove the wrong way. I asked him to stop. He locked the doors." The officer's face hardened. They took the man away. Tyler stood, stunned. It was over, but something had begun. Her name was Emily, 16, runaway, living between shelters, no family willing to take her in. "I'm not used to someone stopping," she said later, sitting on the police station bench. "People just walk by." Tyler looked at her, still processing. "Nobody should ever walk by." Before he left, she asked, "Why did you do it?" "I have a daughter," he replied. "If she was in trouble, I'd hope someone would do the same." That night, Tyler returned home. Ava was curled up on the couch, sleepy-eyed. "You're late, Daddy." He kissed her forehead. "Let's just say, I took a detour to do the right thing." He didn't tell her about the punch, or the girl. Not yet, but something in him shifted. The world had gotten colder. He needed to be warmer. He didn't expect what would happen next, because the next time he saw Emily, it wasn't on the street, it was in his kitchen. 3 days passed. Tyler tried to forget the chaos, but something gnawed at him. Emily. He asked the officer what happened to her. She'd been sent to a temporary foster shelter, but she wasn't doing well. She's scared, doesn't trust anyone. the officer said. But when she talks about you, her voice changes. You made her feel safe. Tyler wrestled with the idea. He already had a daughter, a fragile budget, a life barely held together. Could he open his door again? He did. He applied to become her temporary guardian. When Emily first stepped into his home, she didn't speak much. She kept her backpack close, flinched at loud noises, didn't trust closed doors. Ava, on the other hand, greeted her with cookies. You can have the top bunk, she offered. Emily blinked. Really? Yeah. My dad says we always share with people who need it. Over time, the ice melted. Emily started smiling, laughing, talking about books she liked, helping Ava with homework, sitting quietly while Tyler cooked dinner, even offering to help. One evening, Tyler walked into the kitchen and saw Emily trying to flip pancakes. You ever cooked before? He asked. She grinned. Only at shelters, but they always burned. He chuckled. Well, welcome to the club. I burn stuff all the time. She looked up at him. Thank you for not walking past me. He paused. Thank you for trusting me. But not everyone understood. Some neighbors raised eyebrows. A single man taking in a teenage girl? He faced judgment, but Tyler stood tall. This isn't about what they think. It's about what's right. The turning point came during the school's parent-student night. Emily was supposed to go alone, but Tyler showed up with Ava. He stood beside Emily as she presented her art project about the meaning of safety. She drew a picture of a snowy street, a girl, a van, and a man who punched first and asked later. The room was quiet. Emily's voice cracked. Sometimes the people you expect to save you don't. And the ones you don't expect become your heroes. Tyler looked down. Tears filled his eyes. After the event, Emily hugged him in front of everyone. She whispered, "You gave me something I've never had, a home." Tyler held her tight. "You gave me something too, another reason to keep going." Months passed. Emily officially became part of the family, not just on paper, in hearts. Ava called her sister. Tyler called her daughter. They celebrated birthdays, holidays, laughed over burnt pancakes. Emily even got a part-time job tutoring art at Ava's school. One evening, as they sat around the table, Ava asked, "Hey, Emily, what would have happened if Daddy hadn't punched that man?" Emily went quiet. Then she replied, "I don't know, but I know my life really started after that punch." Tyler smiled. It wasn't just the punch. It was the choice to care. Always care. That night after dinner, as Tyler stood by the kitchen sink washing dishes, he noticed Emily lingering behind him, holding her empty plate quietly. "Dad," she said softly. Tyler paused. He turned slowly. It was the first time she'd called him that, without hesitation, without doubt. He looked at her, eyes wide, a little stunned. Emily's voice trembled. "I never thought I'd be able to say that word and actually mean it. Someone I feel safe with. Someone who didn't leave. Someone who punched the world just to pull me out of it." Tyler wiped his hands and opened his arms. She stepped forward. He hugged her tightly. No words, just warmth. Ava appeared at the doorway, carrying her stuffed bunny. "Family hug?" The three of them wrapped each other in silence. That hug didn't need explanation. It was a testimony that love doesn't need blood. It only needs courage and kindness. If this story touched your heart, even for a second, please like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories. Because sometimes all it takes is one kind act. To save a life, to build a family, to prove humanity still exists. You can be that reason.